Hello, social media family. I am here because I want to share with you what I've got coming up over the next 14 days. As most of you know, I am now dedicating a big chunk of my life to raising the vibration on acknowledging and healing our trauma. And those sound like really fancy words that I just stitched together. Trust me, I didn't. I was extremely reluctant to do this work, and it was only last year, May, that I kind of got this really deep calling, specifically from my ancestors, which was, we need you to do the work. Yes, it's not glamorous, but if you don't speak, who else is going to? And I would have the most amazing thing happen where people would come together based on my thoughts for doing a documentary on trauma. And I knew I needed to start with my story. And it's always the difficult one. You know, when you're in a meeting at work and you want to say something, but you're really nervous, you know, because we've either got imposter syndrome or somebody shut us down before, or someone said that wasn't important and they kind of just spoke over you. I had that feeling around trauma, which is, firstly, we don't really use that word, or in some cases it's overused, or people are going to say, why are you trying to ask for too much attention? And for a while, I was grossly misunderstood, really misunderstood. You know, one of my sisters who has just been an absolute godsend during this period by just having these really open and raw conversations, literally alluded to some of my fears of parts of my family thinking, well, what are you wanting to do? Yes, there was a big part of me that wants to be seen and heard, and I don't even know if that's been nurtured yet, which is why the work continues. But the work goes way beyond me, way beyond me. I'm really dedicated in guiding and helping other people. Now, I've also had to ask myself, well, hold up, is this some sort of Jesus complex you've got? No, I ain't trying to be Jesus. I ain't trying to be Buddha. I'm just trying to be Yemi Pen. And I'm really hoping that a number of you will come on the journey, because from doing that short documentary, we have had tens of thousands. I mean, cumulatively, we've had over 200,000 views of the documentary, and there is so much more to go. You know, there's only so much of my personal funds that I could have put into that. And I truly believe that when we are all collectively invested in something, we therefore care about the outcome and hope that we get something from it. Now, to make a feature-length documentary, which means we can talk about significantly more things, we're going to touch about different forms of trauma. You know, if you've watched my TEDx talk, I highlight the fact that one person's trauma is not bigger than the other. It has a lot to do with how we perceive it, and trauma can go way back. Like, I'm talking past lives. I'm talking in your mother's womb. I'm talking taken down from parents, grandparents. And we haven't even got to the life we live in now and the trauma that a lot of us would have felt over the past year and a half. So this is about talking about the different forms of trauma, how people have struggled with it, how they have transmuted that pain to power, and what they're doing now to give back. Now, if you haven't seen the trailer, you must go and watch the trailer. It's the first link in my bio link, or I've put it in the comments below. But really lean into what we're trying to do here. We're trying to tap into modern as well as ancient understanding for healing trauma. I'm just about finishing a plant dieta, which for those of you who follow a lot of plant-based ceremonies, you would know. And it's been pretty phenomenal. You know, I've been feeling plants and trees speaking to me a lot lately. And if I'd said that a couple of years ago, I would have 100% put myself down as having lost it. But doing this work in trauma is what's brought it up. You know, I have nothing wrong with prescription drugs, you know, injections, whatever. I truly believe there is a place for science. But for me, the real beauty is when we merge that ancient indigenous wisdom with the wisdom society and women, men, and everybody in between, non-binary, has brought together. Why can't we have the best of all the worlds we have? And at the moment, I don't see many people, definitely not many people who look like me, pioneering this. So this is a genuine call to firstly ask you to support in any way you can. Genuinely $1, $5, $10 contributing to this documentary makes a difference, because it makes me believe that I'm not alone, the team is not alone, but more importantly, you're on the journey with us. So over the next 14 days, I'm going to share shorter videos than this, possibly anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes, I'm going to share my own story of acknowledging and resolving my trauma. Now, it's not resolved. I'm going to keep going, but I'm definitely not going to hide in the shadows as I try to do that. I'm going to be delicate with myself. I'm going to have a duty of care, but I'm going to take people on the journey because I want to heal with others. I want to keep learning with others. I want to learn with you. And so I'm going to share how acknowledging, firstly, that I had been traumatized by this one particular incident, and I'm sure we have other incidents, but this one in particular, and how it manifested in other parts of my life, how acknowledging and healing it helped me with different pillars of life. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to share with you, for instance, how just being aware of my trauma allowed me to divorce more harmoniously than I would have ever thought possible, and therefore invest in a healthy relationship with the father of my son. Now, I haven't always had it right. And before we do anything, I'm going to put everybody on notice that we all take actions for ourselves, because the first things we like to do is say, oh yeah, X, Y, and Z should have done that, or somebody else should have done that. I have so many views on what other people should do, but I mind my own business, because when I heal me, I start to heal my kids. I start to heal those who are around me. And that's always got to be the first part. So I'm going to share with you, there'll be 7 videos over 14 days. And I'm hoping you can take something from it. You don't have to have experienced what I did, but you've possibly been through something that's been distressing or disturbing. And if you watch my TED Talk, the statistics I give aren't frightening, but they're realistic. Literally, with all the stats that's been done in the world, over 50% of people have experienced something distressing. I'm interested in knowing how many people have acknowledged it. I'm also interested in knowing how many people have been taught, well, if you just keep it quiet, undercover, under wraps, then you don't have to worry about it. If any of you have watched my interview with Jack Canfield, it finds a different way to get to you. For me, it was my teenage daughter. So it's real. It's real. It doesn't mean we wallow in a victim story, and there is a place for that, because some people deal with things differently. But I'm here for those who, yeah, you may be scared, you may be nervous, and I'm okay if you watch my videos and you just peep and you send me a little message in my inbox. I'm good with that as well. But I'm hoping you can come on this journey, and I'm hoping you can support the team and I as we look to raise the money to start filming back end of this year. Literally, if I could get the same amount of people that have watched the first documentary to donate $5 even, we would be able to make an amazing documentary that will change people's lives. And you can do that right now by going to that first link in my bio or the link below to contribute, as well as watch the trailer. But most importantly, I want to see you over the next couple of days, and by all means, tag a friend who you think would benefit from this. Lots of love and light to you all. Mwah.